Welcome back to World of Warships with your host, XBradTC, and today we have Kitwar in the Tier 5 Japanese Kamikaze destroyer. The Kamikaze R, and the Minikaze are all very similar Tier 5 Japanese destroyers. Very quick, very good at stealth firing torpedoes, and very good for capping, but terrible guns. And, well, not terrible, not very good guns, and very fragile. As you can see, we are on the Trident map. It is a Tier 6 fight, and it is the Epicenter battle mode, which your humble scribe detests.
Torpedoes astern.
And, as is typical, the first part of the battle is everybody slinging torpedoes at each other. The destroyer's getting into a bit of a knife fight. Kit's got his first set of torps out towards the battleships, though. And let's see what happens. You know, when I first got my Minikaze, I don't have a Kamikaze. Grump and Lieutenant Rusty both have a Kamikaze R, I think. When I first got my Minikaze, before they nerfed the torpedoes, it was a killing machine. I mean, part of it was that, as I recall, the torpedoes were a little bit faster, giving you less reaction time. And the other thing was, battleship drivers just weren't as good. They tended to steam along in a long, straight, path, never speeding up, slowing down, never turning, and you could launch at the utter maximum range and reliably count on getting one or two torps into them. Most battleship drivers are wise to that now, and tend to maneuver. And one of the things is, I became a battleship driver, that I noticed is I very often maneuver, not so much to avoid destroyers, but because I want to rotate my turrets faster, and it's easier to spin the entire ship than it is to just wait for the turrets to rotate. Kit's done what usually happens in a epicenter fight, is try to get into the middle and kind of disappear in there, and eventually the enemy destroyers, being in the middle, will either you're going to get taken out or they will. And once you start capturing, it kind of cascades from there. And he's detected for quite some time, so it's kind of surprising that he's not taking gunfire from supporting cruisers. Enemy torpedoes coming in, dodged them easily, and snuck a torp into the enemy destroyer. Devastating strike, first blood. Nicely done. There's still somebody else in the epicenter. We know that because we're not capturing. In the meantime, torps out on the New Mexico. And pretty good reload time on the torpedoes for the Kamikaze. I want to say it's about 30 seconds, maybe a couple seconds more. And that gives you opportunities for multiple engagements. Kit's team's lost a cruiser, but they've taken out 2 of the 4 enemy destroyers. And somebody just killed the enemy New Mexico before Kit's torpedoes could even get there. There's an enemy destroyer. How do we pronounce that? The Gayed.
Torpedoes to port.
And a little stealthy attack on him.
Torpedoes to port.
And friendly torpedoes on the bow. Careful, guys.
Torpedoes to port.
Don't get so excited to be torping that you take out a friendly. And there's enemy Koenig. He's, I believe, just out of torpedo range. Or is he? Are we gonna get some? Oh, looks like we missed. No problem, let's re-engage. And while we're doing that, keep eyes peeled. Okay, somehow we did manage to cap the inside, but we haven't capped the outside. Oh, enemy destroyer. There he is. The gate guy popped right back out. And time to pop smoke.
Torpedoes direct front.
Engage with gunfire. Yep, somebody just smacked him hard with destroyer or cruiser or battleship. Smacked him pretty hard there. Got to maneuver because you know this guy's launched torpedoes at Kitwar. So we're going to change our aspect to present the slimmer target. Where are enemy torpedoes? Be out of torpedo range. Kind of surprised. Alright, we've chased off the enemy destroyer. We have the center captured. Time to go stalking our prey. And keep an eye on that Conan driver. He's going to be the fun part of this game. That's the thing about Japanese destroyer replays is a lot of it, since you're spending so much effort at being stealthy, it's kind of boring. Enemy torpedoes coming in. Easy dodge. Just took that one right under the transom. And since the Gaiad is over there, that means, what is that? Oh, that's the Farragut. And we slipped a torpedo into somebody. Not exactly sure who. We'll launch a couple of torps in case that Farragut decides to come out. In the meantime, go stalking. Both teams down 4 ships. And launch on the New Mexico. And we're just going to sit here and wait for the tubes to reload. Launch on the New Mexico again. Pop smoke. And while we're smoked up, might as well fire some HE and try and set the Graf Spee on fire. Got one torpedo into the New Mexico. Which is always nice. And gun hit on the Graf Spee. Take the torpedo launch at the Graf Spee. Got another torpedo into the New Mexico. And if he wasn't flooding before, he probably is now. Or, more likely, he burned his repair party to get the flooding to stop, which is going to have consequences here in a minute. New Mexico is charging the smoke screen. Well, bad news, dude. You are not going to reach the smoke screen before Kitwar's torpedoes are back up. So here's a full salvo. And remember, torpedo hits in the bow. Oh, hey! Picked off the Graf Spee. Those 2 torpedoes were enough to take him down, and instance later, double strike took down the New Mexico. The Farragut has launched a spread of torpedoes into the suspicious smoke screen. Kitwar easily avoids those. A little bit of luck involved, I'll grant you that. There's the Gaiad, and very low health, so might as well try and polish him off. Takes a little bit more gunnery than I would have thought. like I said, the Kamikaze guns aren't that great, but they're good enough to polish off a very low health destroyer. Torpedoes out on the Koenig, and we're still detected because we were using our guns. So try and minimize our aspect angle, make ourselves a somewhat harder target, wait for us to go stealthy again, and the Cleveland opened fire. It just took a long time for those rounds to arrive. And let's go ahead and stalk this Koenig. We want to get close, but not too close. Detection range, Kitwar's detection range is probably somewhere right around 5.4 kilometers. And Torps died just an instant before reaching Koenig. No problem. That's what we have more torpedoes for, and we launched at a rather reasonable range, 5.9. I want to say the torpedo range is 7 kilometers. Takes a while. And the Koenig, having maneuvered, dodges all the torpedoes. We're 2 seconds away from having another set of torpedoes up. There we go. So Torps out. And maneuvers just to get a little bit better as to, there we go. There goes the Torps. 1 set, 2 set, 3 set. So 6 torpedoes going out on the Koenig. Keeping a wary eye on the Cleveland over there. And the Cleveland's kind of pitched himself out of the fight. So we've got the Koenig over here and the Graf Spee. And the Koenig turns in what could have been a miss. Instead, high caliber and Kraken unleashed with a devastating strike. Well done, Kitwar. 4 Torps. And of course, that Koenig driver, very, very salty. He's crying in-game chat about how stealthy attacks are cheating. Dude, it's World of Warships. It's how it's always been done. You know, Kitwar doesn't have any special superpowers. He's just a good destroyer driver. And helps polish off the Graf Spee. That leaves just the enemy Cleveland. Kitwar's done an amazing job here. He's got 2 incapacitations, 41 gun hits, 14 torpedo hits. My gosh. How long will the Cleveland last? Not long. He's got 3 battleships, 2 cruisers, and 2 destroyers hunting him. So, yeah, the Cleveland's a fun little ship, but it's not going to put up against that kind of firepower very long. And at any rate, he's outside the epicenter, the outer circle. So Kitwar's team has capped all 3 rings of the epicenter. So they're gaining points at a ridiculous rate. The question now is, do they win on points? Or do they kill the Cleveland and win that way? No sense of not taking a few pot shots. Cleveland's got a lot of problems. He probably doesn't have time to spend shooting at Kitwar. And every little bit helps. Are we going to get kill number 6? No, we are not. Still, wonderful job by Kitwar. 144,000 damage, 2 devastating strikes, a double strike, Kraken unleashed, first blood, high caliber. An amazing 14 torpedo hits, 51 gun hits, 5 kills, 2 incaps, 3 fires, 7 floodings, and 3 assisted and captured. Not surprisingly, top of the team with 2550 base XP. Basically twice what the number 2 player on his team did, and about 4 times what the best of the enemy team did. 53,000 damage to the New Mexico, 36,000 to the very, very whiny Koenig, 24,000 to the Graf Spee, 7,000 to the Mitsuki, and 6,000 to the Gayed. And for all that, didn't take a lot of damage. Take a look at total Commander XP, flying all the appropriate flags, got a whopping 21,000 Commander XP. Well done, Kitwar. Folks, hope you've enjoyed this episode of World of Warships. Toss us a like and subscribe.